Hey fam, hey, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And don't forget to like, comment, and share with your friends. This video is commentary only and is full of jokes and joshes about our favorite family falling apart, the Browns. If that's all good and you can handle sitting outside and talking about what everybody is doing for Christmas, meet me back here after the jingle. It's Christmas time, still, in Browntown. Do you ever notice, y'all, that you don't see anybody else who lives in the town? Like, you see people come over and do things like they were doing things on Coyote Pass and stuff like that. But do you notice that you really don't see anyone else who lives in the town? So I'm going to start calling it Browntown because I think that's actually much better than Coyote Pass, because honestly, Coyote Pass, when I say it, feels like it gives me happy memories of what they were going to do on the land. They were going to move there. They were going to become a family. They were going to build these houses, and nothing has happened on this land. It was just paid off like a couple of months ago. And didn't they move back there like in 1989? Like, I think 1989 was the year they moved. I mean, because it's been so long and we are so far behind. So come on now. Anywho, when we start, the episode kind of gives us a flashback of everything that sort of happened in the last episode, including the big fight between Janelle and Angry Spice. And he walks out of the door and she says, F you. And we're all like cheering and stuff and like throwing high fives. At least I was, even though there was no one else in the room. I was high fiving myself because I was like, go Janelle. The mood is very somber when we start. There's rain. The music is really slow and kind of dirgy, you know, like something's coming. Something ominous is about to happen. And we cut to Janelle, who is left on her couch crying after being so mad. You know, I think that when people think about Janelle crying, they think about it as like this sad thing and she's really upset about Cody leaving. And I think what it is kind of like me. When I get so mad and I can't continue my conversation, or I'm so welled up with emotion and I want to kind of like maybe choke you out, you know, not really, because I'm not a violent person. Remember, we don't do violence on this channel. I just get so mad sometimes that I cry. I think there are people out there like that. And I think he just made her so mad and pissed her off so bad that the only way it could come out was to cry, because she'd already done all of her yelling and talking to someone who was like talking to a wall. Like, he was like talking to a freaking wall. She lets us know that there was a huge argument even before this one, where he told her in the car, choose your loyalty. Basically, to do that, choose her loyalty or have no husband. And here she is left feeling like, well, you're just trying to get rid of me. You're just trying to say anything or give me any excuse to just get rid of me, get me out of the family, so that you can do what you've wanted to do, which was to be with Robin and not be a polygamist person anymore. You don't want to be in a polygamist relationship. You don't have the balls to say that you don't want to be in this relationship. So you're going to say, well, I can't say that as the man. I'm never going to ask a wife to leave. I'm going to make her say it. If that is not the most cowardly way to handle things, I'm going to tell you, there are a couple of things that are real pet peeves of mine when it comes to men and how they sometimes handle women. That is to make you be the bad guy and say, I want to break up with you. Even though they've wanted to break up with you for a very long time, they're going to make you say it. And I hate when men ghost women. I don't like when anyone ghosts anyone, honestly. But when a man doesn't have enough self-worth, integrity, to say to a woman, you know, this is really not working out. Let's just, you know, either be friends or go our separate ways. Now, women, we got to be able to do that too. But if men are going to say that we are the weaker sex and we're so sensitive and all these dumb things that they say, then you need to prove the reason why you can say that, which is that you have balls and integrity to handle your business like a grown man. If you don't want to be married to the woman anymore, let her know. Let her go. Child, I'm getting all worked up. I ain't even been on here for a good, 10 minutes yet. He then says that he feels like Janelle has just given him one betrayal after another. And all I could think of in that was that it sounds exactly like what you told Christine. I feel like it's just been one betrayal after another. You haven't had the kids be on my side. You've gone against me when it came to COVID. You've always done your own thing and been independent. I seem to remember at some point in an earlier season, you saying, Angry Spice, that is what you liked about her. She was your best friend. She was the business person. There wasn't really a lot of romance, but you liked that about her. Now it's the thing you are using to tear this relationship with her apart. Janelle says that, she doesn't recognize this man. She doesn't recognize this guy. And in fact, all the women say it, even Squarejaw. She even says, I don't recognize who this is. This is not him. While they're saying, we don't recognize this person. This is not the person we know. All he can sit on the couch and say is, Janelle's mean. She's mean to me. And sticks his finger back in his mouth. Where's your binky? Because I'm sure that Ariella has a few spares laying around with her big A self. At her big age, she still got a flippin' binky in her mouth. I'm going to talk about that later. Janelle is still crying, and this is where the mad for me turned into heartbreak. Janelle sitting on her couch in her apartment, saying that she's 50 years old and has nothing. I think this is the part of last night's episode that most people commented on, because she says, I'm 50. I'm smarter than this. I should have known better. I remember growing up as a young woman, wanting to be married in my life, and having women in my family who said, make sure you know what is going on with the finances in your home, whether you are single or married. Make sure you keep up with that. Make sure you keep track of it. And if you are married, make sure that you know what's going on. Number one, because if that person were to leave this world or leave you, they can't take everything from you, and you know where things are. So I can understand that being 50 and not having anything feels like no less than devastating. Christine had the house, she says. I have nothing. And then to even remember that you were the one who told your friend Christine, make sure that before you leave him, you have your finances in order. And here you are in the same situation. You're not choosing to leave, except that you're being pushed out or pushed to make the choice. You are in a position that you told her not to be in. Devastating. Devastating. Can we start a GoFundMe, y'all? I'm just saying. She probably don't even want it, but I feel like a GoFundMe is completely in order. We then cut to Christmas Eve at the Brown Manor. Let's call it Brown Manor in Browntown. And the thing that struck me about this was that I thought that they had a conversation outside of Mary's place last week where they decided Christmas Eve would be at Mary's house. Christmas would then be at Brown Manor. I don't know what would have happened between that conversation and this Christmas Eve, but something changed. I feel like, they didn't trust Mary to keep the guest list the way they wanted it to be. So they were like, Mary said, I'm going to go ahead and have it at my house. They agreed. And then as soon as they got back in the van, Robin was probably like, Cody, I don't know if I trust her to not invite the other kids because, they don't like me or my kids. Robin, didn't nobody ever say they didn't like you and your kids? They said they didn't like you. It's making you feel better to think that they don't like your kids as well, because it gives you also a reason to not like them. Those are the two making up reasonists people I have ever seen in my life. They are the two biggest victims, I swear, and making up stuff that didn't ever happen and wasn't ever said. Ooh, they would exhaust me. I could not be their friend. Oh, they would exhaust me. We see Christine with her kids. We see Janelle with her son making lasagna. I think Christine was also making lasagna. Great minds think alike. And they talk about how he's had no contact with Savannah. What did Savannah do? Can we get some t-shirts that say, what did Savannah do? That's my idea. I'm going to make that merch. What did Savannah do? She didn't do nothing. She was just born. She was hanging out. Look, all Savannah has done is hang out at the house, hang out in the trailer, hang out now in the apartment. And he trying to use this on her because he don't like her mama. I told you. A man who won't talk to his own kids shouldn't be talking to nobody. I'm just saying. Now, Janelle did say that she told Cody to come and get his stuff, and he still had not come to get it. Now, I have a theory. Bear with me. I know that we as YouTubers, those who comment on this show, like to think that Squarejaw is the hoarder. And I think she is. Because as I have listened to some people recap this show, they have made notice and mention of art pieces on her walls that are upwards of $8,000, $6,000. There's a crystal in her doorway, in her foyer, that apparently is like over $1,000. She talks about how she bought this Christmas village from Charles Dickens. And I think that in research, people have found that each little piece is over $100. And she bought the whole town. But what if, ladies and gentlemen, what if all the stuff that we do see does not only belong to Squarejaw, but also belongs to Angry Spice? Remember, he does deal in weaponry. She is a hoarder, but he also probably orders a lot of junk. And I feel like whenever people have talked about Janelle's junk in her apartment, I don't know that that's all her junk. I think some of that is her stuff, but some of that I think is Cody's stuff. And so he has more boxes that he's going to be moving into Brown Manor. Remember, Christine said he had 4 of everything, and now it is all living at Brown Manor because that is the only place that he could store things when Janelle was living in the trailer. I don't know. I think they're both ridiculous about so many things that's like the least of my worries. He says that he's reached out to the kids with no luck. They say they've reached out to him with no luck. And honestly, I'm going to say I believe the kids. So then he says, well, they're not being fair. He did a lot of crying this episode. Angry Spice is turning into Whiny Spice. Whiny Spice. As we go back to Robin's house, or Squarejaw Manor. Ooh, that sounds better than Brown Manor. Ooh, let's call it Squarejaw Manor from this point on. We go back to Squarejaw Manor, and, the kids are all helping and eating and doing all that kind of stuff. And, of course, Scary Spice or Angry Spice wants them off of their phones. And we see that Squarejaw is walking over to the Christmas tree, and Mary says, wow, I see him giving all these affections. He's not very good at hiding his affection toward Squarejaw, and she basically feels like the other woman. Mary, I'm going to be honest with you because I think that as your friend, I should be. You're not the other woman. You're barely a friend. You're only inside the house because it's Christmas Eve and they needed to get that footage. It's time to go. It's time to go. And I think you do make the decision very soon to get the heck up on out of there. But I'm still like, where's your child? Where's your child and their husband or their fiance? Like, where are they? And why aren't you spending Christmas with them? I don't understand. After the break, we noticed that the theme of favorites comes up a lot. And it's pretty obvious this episode, that has been the feeling for a long time with all the wives. But I'm glad that Mary is finally starting to admit it. I'm glad that she's finally just, got the mud out of her eyes, and she is really starting to maybe not just see it, because I think she has seen it, but I think that she's finally starting to say, I don't want to be the flunky anymore. I don't want to be the third wheel in this relationship. I don't like it. I'm about to be up out. Anybody seen Dayton? Oh, there he is in the background of a Christmas shot. Did Dayton get a motorbike? Because everybody got a motorbike. I didn't see if Dayton got one. But remember, Dayton had a really bad accident on a motorbike a few years back and had to have his eye surgery that Angry Spice went to, but didn't go to Isabel's. Wow, they do a flashback to when the entire family was together. I think that was like Christmas 2020. And of course, Janelle says that she misses it. She misses when everyone was together, but it feels nice to just be with her children. It feels nice to just have a very simple Christmas. And the other kids echo that same sentiment. Of course, he always talks about the loyal wife. The loyal what? Friends. He says, I'm here with the loyal wife and the ones that I love, and Mary. He never mentions Mary. Even if she's right there in the same room, he don't mention Mary. Whew, child, I don't know how she puts up with it. Then we jump to when he starts to talk about what they all feel like is a very ridiculous statement called sacred loneliness. Now, I use the word all loosely because Mary, Janelle, and Christine all say that it's dumb. But of course, the loyal wife, square jaws, like, well, you know, I don't mind that because that's just time that you get to be alone with God. Girl, then you must have never been alone with God at all. Because you're never lonely. Because he is always at your house, up under your armpit, trying to get you to sit on his lap. Ooh. Nathan and Mary's sister were married. I just found this out. Wow. He gets into the truck so that they can start their annual Wah Wah Club meeting. And he wants to talk to him. He wants to talk to him because, you know, he's been divorced. He's had a wife leave him and, you know, been married to somebody else. And so he wants to hear his opinion. I don't really think that's true. I think that he's looking for a yes man. And I think that is what Nathan provides to him. Yeah, he's willing to slip in some things, you know, like, well, you know, you got to take accountability for the things that you've done. But yeah, I can understand why you did the things that you did. I also had a wife that left me and I didn't like myself, but I'm a better person now, and I think you're going to be a better person if you just keep working on it. Oh my gosh. He asks the question, can I be a monogamist? Well, can you? I think you can. I think you've been a monogamist since season 1. You were still married legally to Mary. You were still in spiritual marriages with Christine and Janelle. But as soon as you invited a woman into your marriage, and it was a woman who did not ask to be a part of the family, I believe that is when you became a monogamist. Now listen, nobody is saying that if you love this woman, you are in love with this woman, that is wrong. No one is saying that is wrong. What we are saying is wrong is that these women have chosen a better life for themselves away from this because they chose one thing, you promised them one thing, and delivered another. And so now that they are standing up for themselves and saying, peace out, you want to then come at them with, I never loved you, I was never attracted to you, blah, 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 blah. Anything that makes your ego heal. There's a special place for people like you. Guess where it is? He says that Robin is feeling the ultimate rejection as well. Whatever. Christine laughs at sacred loneliness. Mary thinks it's stupid, and so does Janelle. They wanted me to be there. They got a break every other day. This is Nathan saying that, you know, his wives wanted too much of him. They wanted him there every day, but hey, they got a break every other day. Why is he on this show? Like, why is he on the couch? I hope this was the one and only episode that we see that man. Because he needs to not say nothing else. Nothing else. I don't believe that Robin was invited. I believe Robin slid in like the snake I believe she is. If we remember, when she talked about it herself, she said she wanted a man that would take care of her family, take care of her and her children. She didn't care about romance. She didn't care about looks. She saw you and took the opportunity, and you fell for the bait. I got to give it to her. That was the best con in the world, right? She did it. She did it. So he says that he wants to ask Christine why she did this. Did she really just believe in the principle that much? I mean, I don't know. I would say that Christine would say, yes, I believed in the principle, because that's what she grew up in. And she was basically Mormon royalty, right? She was basically royalty in the church. That's why you married her, right? Janelle says she still believes in plural marriage. She doesn't think that there will be a time for her to do it again, but she does feel like that it could still work. Mary says that, I think he regrets marrying myself and Christine. She didn't know about Janelle, but she does think that he now regrets marrying them. Then he says he wants to grow horns and be a Jack A, etc., etc. Well, those things are already true, so you don't have far to go. Just be who you are. Be who you are on the inside. Do you, boo? Do you? He says that he has the urge to be mean as hell. You're already mean as hell. Like, I'm saying, what do you mean you want to be and you have the urge? Child, you doing it every day. Every time you tell a woman that you weren't attracted to her when you married her. Every time you tell us or tell your wife that there was this ick factor because you were eating nachos. Anytime that you tell a woman that you're being jealous, you're being all the things that you say you want to be and have the urge to be. He says he doesn't want Robin to know how dark he's gotten. She'll never know how dark you've gotten or how dark you can get, because she will always bend and mold to whatever you need her to be, which will keep you in a place of calm. He says that he has the 2 youngest kids who love him back. Well, that's because they haven't really felt your absence or your wrath or what the other older kids have had to feel with you. It's coming. It's coming. He says that he wants to run away, but it's the youngest who keep him there, And so I'm thinking, foreshadowing anyone? Robin even thinks, I hope he doesn't want to leave me. I hope that he realizes. And she says, well, I know he'll regret it. She thinks a lot of herself, don't she? I mean, love yourself, because who gonna love you better? But my goodness, okay. It was so nice to see the kids together. The boys admit that they have felt slighted and neglected. Robin says that, she wants nothing to do but be together with Christmas. And, if her kids had wanted to go ahead and have a relationship with the other kids, she would let that happen. That's a lie and a half. Because if that was the truth, you would have done it by now, instead of inserting yourself into a text where that could have possibly been the case. They could have gotten together. They could have exchanged gifts. But you threw a wrench in that because you are fearful of a relationship that they could have. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, or the Grinch Who Stole Marriage, however you want to look at it, again wants her to come and sit on him, and he rubs her back and blah, blah, blah. And of course we see that there are favorites. If I had to rate this episode of Sister Wives tonight, I would give it a solid B-. I only say B because we got to see the kids playing and laughing. We got to see Christine and Janelle having kind of the Christmases that they want in size anyway. I do wish that Maddie and her family could have come for the holiday. I really wish I would have gotten to see Gwen and her girlfriend come for the holiday. And I have to say that I did hear another YouTuber suspect that maybe Aurora has maybe figured Angry Spice out. I don't know if she as enamored with him as Ariella and Brianna. No, maybe it's Brianna. I think Brianna has figured it out. And I think that Ariella and Aurora are still they're still in the mix of, oh, he's wonderful, he's great, he's amazing. I think Brianna's like, I don't know about you. I think she's a little skeptic. And I want to also say that Saul and Dayton might be a little skeptic too. Saul looked like he wasn't having nothing to do with a motorbike. Dayton didn't say a word. He was barely filmed. And I think Brianna was barely filmed and was kind of on her phone a lot of the time. Oh well. Hope I didn't miss too much. That's all I got for you this week. We're going to be back again next week with episode 5. This one was season 18, episode 4, A Deal with the Devil. I hope you come back. Remember, share with your friends because sharing is caring. If there's something you want to do, go out and do it. Do not let anybody stop you. I did. All right, y'all. Peace, love, and hair grease. We out.